Hey guys, I'm Glitter Valkyrie, and today we are going to summon for Legendary Claude. I thought that it would be a really long time before I could say those words, but he is here and he looks amazing, and I am just so excited to pull today. So we will talk about all the characters on the banner as we go along, and let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so the plan today is going to be to pull every color list that we see because if you have not seen any of my videos before, I am a huge Claude fan. I do have 2 Claudes at plus 10, and I'm not like quite crazy enough to go for a plus 10 today because he is a legendary and that would be like a ton of orbs. But I'm really hoping for just like at least 1 copy, and I will spend all the orbs that I can to just get at least 1. But if we don't have any color lists, I'll probably go for green because I do really want Triandra. She is a character that I missed when she came out, and she is my favorite of like the enemy fairies. So I think that that's probably my next best bet. And if we don't have any of those, maybe we'll go red just because there is like maybe a slightly higher chance of distant counter. And I guess if we had a circle full of blues, that would be fine too because I actually really do like my Naga. I feel like she was a character that people thought was a really bad mythic, but now that Saros is out, the pair of her with my Fallen Leon for those seasons is actually very, very useful. So, I don't know, maybe she'll make a little bit of a comeback and people will start using her. And we get a Merlinus. So let's go ahead and back out. You know, I was really surprised that we saw Claude this month because I was really expecting him to be a wind unit because of the Verdant Wind path, but when I saw his beautiful art and his amazing kit, I just knew I had to spend like every last orb on him. So hopefully we see a couple more colorless. We've had only a few so far. Perfect, 1 colorless. You know what, I don't know if I've ever really explained why I like Claude as much as I do. He's definitely my favorite of all the 3 houses. He came home. Oh my goodness. Look at that art. Oh, it's beautiful. And we get a blessing. Let's check IVs. He's plus attack. He's also minus speed, but he is plus attack, and I am so happy with that. So let's back out, and I might just pull a little bit more just to see if we could maybe get another one so we can patch that speed bane, but quite honestly, if we don't get another one, I am more than happy to use a trait fruit on him. I know it's a terrible idea, but I have been hoarding all of these fruits, and I've only ever used one on my original Claude, and I feel like it's always worth it to use it on a character that you love, and I like really love Claude. So I will think about it if we don't get another one. But before he came home, I was going to talk about why I like him so much. And I feel like all of the 3 Houses Lords do have kind of compelling stories and reasons for why they do what they do. You know, you have Edelgard, who's like, oh no, the crests, and you have Dimitri, who's like, revenge. But then you have Claude, and he's really concerned about equality and accepting people and broadening your horizons, and I just think that's really beautiful. And oh my gosh, we got freed. I will take that. And we get a blessing. And he is plus attack. You know what? All the times that I have pulled freed, I have never pulled a plus attack one, so that's actually really good. So we'll just spend like a little bit more. Probably don't want to spend like more than 100 orbs on this because we do have a Hero Rises coming up, and it could potentially be like a really good banner with Dimitri and Saros and maybe the duo Lyn. But we'll have to see how that goes. I'm probably going to end up being Team Dimitri just because he's my 2nd favorite Lord, and I feel like he's a very strong unit. But good luck to everybody and all the teams that you choose. And we get Best Girl. So let's go ahead and back out. And, you know, I think I've covered just about everything I want to talk about on the banner, and we can probably go ahead and answer a couple of viewer questions. And as always, if I do not get to your question, I'm so sorry. I will try to do it in a future one. And if you think of something you want to ask, you can leave it in the comments with #question, and I will do my best to answer. So the first question on my list today was actually asked by a couple of people. This comes from Chiku Fodlan's Rat, Seagleans, and I Ship Ranulph X Ike. And they ask, what characters have grown on you throughout a game? So for me, they were actually both Three Houses characters. I would have to say Ferdinand and Sylvain. And that's because when I first met them, I honestly thought they were kind of gross. They were very self-involved. I feel like when you talk to Ferdinand, all he talks about is being a noble, and Sylvain is just like kind of after all the female characters. But then when you do their supports, they're actually like really, really deep, and they made me love those characters so much. So they really kind of changed my opinion from the start of the game to the end, and they're like some of my favorites now. So that would be my answer, Ferdinand and Sylvain. But thank you for that great question. And the next question on my list today comes from the Albano, and there are a couple for me. And the first one is, you can permanently delete one unit from the game, but you also must pick one 5-star unit that everyone gets for free. And the next part of the question is, build yourself as a unit. What are your stats, skills, etc.? Okay, so for the first part of your question, we delete Surtur because he's the worst. He's a terrible dad and his fodder is not good, so I would get rid of him. And then for a gift for everybody, I think that I would pick Legendary Claude because he is the best gift of all. And then for the next part of your question, how I would build myself as a unit, I've kind of had the chance to do that now with my summoner. And so what I ended up doing was double life and death. So it's really, really hard, but I'm also like made of paper. And I feel like I would be very weak if I were actually on a battlefield, so I feel like that fits. And I think I gave myself like a lull skill and ruptured sky, and I think a rally as well. Truthfully, I would probably be a Valkyrie, so like a cav healer, but that isn't really an option. So that's kind of what I did for my summoner. But thank you for all of those great questions. And we get a Mercedes. All right, so the next question on the list today comes from Camila Fuentes, and there are a couple for me. And they are opinions on Silver Snow, favorite pity breaker for each color, and hardest chapter in Three Houses. So for Silver Snow, I actually did not enjoy that route very much. I feel like it was Golden Deer, but worse, to be quite honest. It lacked having like a main lord. I guess Sedith was kind of there, which was nice. But you didn't get Claude or Dimitri. And I feel like you just learned more in Golden Deer, and Golden Deer was more interesting. And I also feel like if you chose the route with Edelgard, you probably wanted to side with Edelgard, so going the church route was probably not what a lot of people wanted to do. So that was kind of my opinion on that. And then for the next part of your question, I love to be pity broken by Midori and Fallen Leon and Guinevere and probably also Julian, just because, oh my goodness. We got Milla. You know what? That's totally fine. She's a really good unit. And we get a blessing. So let's go ahead and check IVs. And she is plus res. I do have a plus defense one, so I'll probably just merge her. But you know what? I think we can grab these two greens and probably call it here just so that I can save just a little bit more. Okay, smoke. Please be Triandra. Oh. I'm so sorry if I sound disappointed. I really dislike Hel as a character, but she has amazing fodder, so I'm really not upset. And she is minus attack, so it's actually great news because I am not going to feel bad about feeding her to my Claire. So we'll grab this last green. And to answer the last part of Camilla's question, the hardest chapter in Three Houses for me was the Blue Lion's maddening final chapter where Crunchy Edelgard keeps throwing those rocks at you. It was just absolutely terrible. But let's go ahead and back out. And I think that it's probably best to end things here. We got Claude, which was what I wanted the most, along with a ton of other great stuff. And for now, I'm just going to think about whether or not I want to use a fruit or maybe go in for a little bit more for a merge. But I'll think about it. But I do want to wish you all the best of luck on this banner and all the ones that we have coming up, along with the voting gauntlet. And lastly, I want to thank you all for the milestone of 7,000 subscribers. I never thought that I would make it past like a week making these videos, and here we are so many years later, and I really just could not have done it without you guys. So thank you so, so much. I really, really appreciate it. So as always, thanks so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.